Today, I want to talk about how I made my first $200. Why you should listen to this? Why you should listen to this podcast? You should listen to this because this took me 1 year to learn, and I'm giving this to you within a few minutes. At the end of this video, my goal is for you to learn a few ways to get your first few clients. So let's get started. My name is Daiwat, and I own Spring Digital. I started Spring Digital in advertising agency 4 years ago, and I've been doing advertisements for real estate agents, restaurants, mortgage agents, and different industries. I focus mostly on social media ads, and my angle has always been the creative side first, then the offer, and then your targeting. Now, the first way I would suggest for someone like you to get a client is how I got my first client. And it's very easy if you really have a community around you. I was a part of a few Facebook groups that were like around my community. I was new in Toronto, and I was relatively new in Toronto, and there were some Indian communities. So I was always confused as to like how should I approach this. I started with emailing people and sending messages and everything, but this one was the one that helped me out the most, which is I just made a post in a Facebook group that was all Indians, and I got my first few clients from there. So it goes to show that it's just easy. There is like roughly minimum 10K people in one of these kind of groups, and you can easily become a part of any of these groups, right? You can just submit a request, and most of the times there is a like a sort of a caution or like a rules where you cannot really advertise your business. But I would say that you should read through the fine lines, and there are some days where you could post about your business, or you could post about what you do. My clients do that. Some of the people that I work with, they do that. They post about their businesses in those local area groups. So let's say if you're in an area in Texas, or like you're in California, or like New York or Toronto, or in India, or anywhere in the world, you must have a group on Facebook that is purely filled with people in that area. Smaller areas, you don't have to go target the whole city. You can start with North Hollywood if you're in North Hollywood. If you're in somewhere in Etobicoke in Toronto, you can target that group. And then send these people a message. See who's a business owner in that group, and then send them a message and tell them that you live in that area. That way you help people. A lot of the times people also post in these kind of groups asking for help. That's where you can actually find a client. So it's very easy through these Facebook groups, and I think there isn't as much attention on this platform on Facebook groups. So you could actually easily get a few clients from that source. Now, let's talk about number two. One of the things I feel you should do in the beginning is post a lot of Instagram and WhatsApp stories. What happens is the initial clients are people who actually are trusting you because you don't really have a lot of reviews, you don't have a lot of success stories to say. So people are not going to be able to trust you, you see. So for them to be able to trust you, you need to find someone who already trusts you. Why not start there, right? So you will start with someone who you know, your school friends, your college friends, and these are the people that are going to be like easy to deal with too, right? Because you know them. So posting stories on your Instagram or WhatsApp or your Facebook or any social media where you're active and your friends group is active, it constantly reminds people. It creates the consideration, and then it reminds people every time that they remember the next time they are being questioned about those services that you offer. So let's say you're doing advertisements like me, or you're doing editing, video editing, and you now want to get a few clients for video editing. What are you going to do? You're going to constantly post on your LinkedIn, your Instagram, or your Facebook stories or WhatsApp stories. Why WhatsApp stories is because you have number of people that are close to you. These are the people that you're actually close to. So it's definitely supposed to work. These people are going to see your stories now or in some time in the future. You don't have to change your ways, but you have to increase the frequency so people learn that you are offering that service. That's the point. And then that way, when they hear, your friends hear a third person talking about, hey, I was looking for a video editor, that's when you get that person to say, hey, I know someone who's looking for a video editing contract or work. And then you get the job. That easy. Let's talk about number 3. This one's actually very close to the number 2. You should post stories and LinkedIn posts and whatnot, but you could also send messages to your friends or the groups that you're already in on your WhatsApp or your close knit groups, your family. And then you can, I know it's awkward, you don't want to tell them, but that's a whole different video by itself. So I think you should get yourselves a big megaphone and start yelling outside your balcony. You should start yelling outside to the world that, hey, I do this service and I am ready to provide you this service. So basically that's the angle. And again, why does this help? If you look at your first few actions you want to take in terms of like, how do I get a client, it's very hard. You don't know a lot of people, and it's typically these people that you're going to work with, they don't really have any means to judge you. So then, only apart from a few pieces of free work that you might have done, right? So you can technically reach out to your friends and family and tell them, hey, if you find someone who needs my video editing services or my advertisement services, I can do that for free, or I will do that for this price, or please remember me when it comes to like doing video editing. And these people, you can constantly bug them too, because they are your friends and your family. What are they going to get tired of? The initial stages, everybody's motivating you about how you should start your business, or wow, you've already started a business. So don't worry, send these friends a message once in a while, once a week, once every 2 weeks, and then just remind these people that, hey, remember I told you that I'm doing video editing services. I'm also starting to do blah, like, or I'm doing this for free for the first 5 clients. So again, I'm just reminding you that if you have someone in your mind, or you meet someone during the weekend, please tell them that this is a good opportunity for us to work, and both the parties benefit, right? All 3 parties benefit, in fact. Let's go to number 4. This in itself is probably the biggest move you can make if you actually want to get a first few clients. You have to tell every single person that you talk to about how you do this business, or that you do this business. What I'm trying to get to is, you want to take all the opportunities, all the shots that you can take, because you never know who's actually going to buy from you. So you don't have the ad budget, you don't have money to put in for flyers, but you still want to get your first few clients. And this applies to everybody actually. I would say you should talk about your business, or you should talk about how you provide some of these services, or what kind of services do you provide, to every single person you talk to. Client acquisition is very expensive. It's probably the most expensive part of any business, and you don't want to lose these clients. So then, if you want to keep getting new clients, you want to keep building this business, what are you going to do? You're going to have to actually talk to all the people that you see and meet, and remind them and tell them that you're doing something new, or you're doing the same, and what happened, and do you know someone that is looking for my services? Because hey, you want business, right? So I don't know if you're gonna back off of this and be like, nah, I don't want to bug every person that I see. Guess you know what? People don't actually remember it in a bad way. They're only gonna remember it in a way that they actually feel motivated to help you out. At least the people that I know have always thought about it in that way. So don't shy away from asking or talking to every single person that you meet, and telling them that you do. Let's say I do advertisements, and I go up to in a temple, and I meet someone, and they ask me like, "Hey, what's your name? Oh yeah, you were in this temple. I've never seen you. Blah blah blah. Right. My name is this. I do this. What do you do?" And then they say this blah 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 blah. Well, if you know someone that wants my services, here's my card, or here's my Instagram. Find me here. I do a free consultation. That's what I mean. That helps a lot because people they remember it. And the next time they get asked, you have a chance to get your business, right? So it helps. Talk to everybody. Again, buy a megaphone, not actually, but buy a megaphone and then preach. Just attract, yell your business's plan, your services. Tell people that you serve this niche. Tell people that you want to sell these services or you're doing five customers for free, whatever it is. But then you have to be able to reach out to every single person that is in front of you. That's your main job as a business owner, right? Let's get to number 5. I didn't even know that I could do this. Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji in Canada or like others around the world, there is a whole lot of apps and businesses out in the world where you can post about your products. Like Facebook Marketplace in itself, you can post about you selling a lamp or you selling a camera. But you could also post about your service. You could actually post about your services as well. It's not that difficult. My friend, she does a service that she doesn't really have a big budget. She does this as a part time or a second thing, like after her job, and she was the one who gave me this advice as to how you could actually get clients for her services. She does some immigration services and it's so easy. You can just post it on Facebook Marketplace and just have them say like you do like maybe housekeeping and you want clients for housekeeping. Now, what do? You just post there. Now, there are definitely ways like posting content and advertisement, but we are talking about the cheapest forms of getting customers. In the beginning, in the first year, this is where I struggled the most. It took me roughly 6 months to even land my first client. Go on Facebook Marketplace, sell your services, post an ad like that. It's free, obviously. And then people will reach out to you, right? That's about it. That's number 5. Let's go on to number 6. Some of the services can be sold over services like Fiverr and Upwork. So I don't want you to take them out of the equation. One of the biggest mistakes that I've done even until now is that I've never sold my services over these apps or these applications. So if you have the availability, let's say you're doing video editing services or you're doing SEO services and you want to start your business, it's so simple. Just go on Fiverr, Upwork, or these sorts of platforms where someone can look you up and hire. Because if you reach out to agencies and stuff, you may be able to get some work too. Next is, I think, another cheat code, but it's being used as the most annoying and obvious way of getting clients. That's number 7, DMs. But I want you to make a slight change to it. Now, this option doesn't really match for all services. DMs don't really mean only Instagram. DMs can also go to platforms like LinkedIn. LinkedIn messages, you don't really get as many LinkedIn messages. I probably get one a day or even sometimes one in every 2 or 3 days. Now, in my experience, it's not the most used platforms in terms of sending DMs or getting clients. I feel like there is a huge market for people who can reach out to other businesses on LinkedIn. You can reach out to other solopreneurs or other small businesses for, let's say, website design or video editing and sell it to them. Let's say you're a cleaning company. Now that's kind of difficult. Now, for a cleaning company, how are you going to reach out to someone on LinkedIn? I would say you could still reach out to HRs or administrations of businesses or smaller businesses where you can actually pitch them your services. I remember like the mat cleaning services, the mats, like the front door mats cleaning services at my old workplace. They got their contract through like a friend. So if you have a friend on LinkedIn and you DM them and you remind them, you use the multiple first few points that we talked about, send them a DM on LinkedIn. Now you have a chance. Again, it's all about taking a chance here, right? All these points, I want you to understand that you could actually, you should just pick one. Just literally pick one and go all in on that. All in on that. And then commit to that one thing for a certain time, see if that works for you, and tweak it, change it, do something with it, but commit to one of these things. I wish I had committed to like only posting on Facebook groups and going all in. I started with that, then I changed very soon to a different form of client acquisition. It sets a different tone. You don't really, you have to learn from the scratch for the new channel now, and I don't really think that's very efficient. So, my suggestion is use one of these, and if you have any more that you want to suggest, comment under this post, and I would love to know. But the only ask I have for all of you is share this with a person, your friend, family, any that also started a business and is looking for a client, or someone who wants to start a business, because this is really helpful and I wish I'd learned this 4 years ago. Can you believe? 4 years ago, when I started my business, everything was there on YouTube and Instagram, but very few people digested it down to like a few points or like gave you such simple ways. They would always say like, oh, you should make flyers or you should do advertisements or cold calls and cold emails. And yeah, those are obvious ways, but these are some of the ways that are like different from sending cold emails. Cold emails, I don't know, my friends and my business owner friends and my other clients, they always tell me that they get all sorts of like cold emails. They don't want to respond. I get cold emails every day asking for SEO on my website or whatnot, and I don't really respond to them. It's those are the people that are going to be highly pain driven and they have to find something for a cheaper price. That's the only way I would see cold emails working. It's very hard. It's very hard. It's, as a beginner at least, I'm sure you're not a big time cold emailer. So I would say the closing ratio is very low. Yes, the investment is super low as well, but your chances of getting a lead from a Facebook marketplace or like a Facebook group is high because people are watching these social media platforms and they go through the groups. And if you're a part of a community and if you speak the same language as the opposite person, now that person is like obliged to be like, I should help this person out, right? So use this, let me know how it goes, and again, share this with a friend. See you next time.